Well, thanks to a Connor Garland shootout winner, the Vancouver Canucks were victorious in their battle with the Calgary Flames on Wednesday night. Despite that fact, Calgary still holds the tiebreaker over Vancouver in the battle for that final wild card. These are the next 5 games both teams will be playing. Vancouver's next 3 games are at home. Saddledome Volji, our Calgary bureau chief, joins us now from the Saddledome. Saddledome, you know it as well as anyone. It's been 3 years since Calgary's hosted a playoff game. Was it somewhat of a playoff atmosphere at the Dome tonight in that game between the Canucks and Flames?
Absolutely, Jay, but I would actually call it sort of the atmosphere you get in the middle of a playoff round. It wasn't, it was actually close to a sellout, which hasn't happened a whole lot recently here in Calgary, but it was a tense crowd, Jay. It was a crowd that was nervous. It was a tight checking game, and I think the fans kind of fed off of that. It did get loud at times, whether it was Nazem Kadri's highlight reel goal in the first period or some of Dustin Wolf's saves later or Jonathan Huberdeau's shorthanded marker, but I think there was a tenseness here, Jay. People in the city aren't used to meaningful spring hockey because, like you said, it's been a couple of years, so I'm not sure they knew how to react. Of course, a tough loss, but the crowd was into it, but it was a nervous crowd, I'd say, as opposed to a crowd that was rambunctious.
Well, you brought up Nazem Kadri and you brought up Jonathan Huberdeau, both having terrific seasons, and Huberdeau having a bounce-back season. How important is this for this team as they try to make this playoff push and grab one of those wild card spots?
Well, Jay, I remember something that Ryan Huska, the head coach, said at the start of the season. He said that because of some of the departures, now Huberdeau and Kadri feel like they've got voices in this room that are much louder, and they've taken it upon themselves really to help lead this team. And they have a great off-ice friendship that's resulted in some great on-ice chemistry after a couple of seasons where they just didn't play well together here on the Saddledome ice. Now it's different. They really are a bona fide top line, and they were both feeling it after tonight's game, Jay. You could tell on their faces that they weren't in the mood to talk about moral victories. Mackenzie Weegar called it a 3-point loss instead of a 1-point loss. There was a somber environment. Sure, they got the point, Jay, but I think they felt that this one, they let it slip away. But those two have taken it upon themselves to really add a little bit more leadership and take ownership of this room. Now that they've been here for a couple of seasons, you're seeing it on the ice. Huberdeau's resurged. He's playing well at both ends of the rink. Kadri continues to be consistent, but both of them were not in the mood to talk about the 1 point they gained tonight, Jay. They instead were ruining the 1 point they lost and just maybe what they left on the Saddledome ice tonight.
And then, the Canucks got their captain back, and Quinn Hughes was excellent on Wednesday night, no question. But Calgary lost their captain, Mikael Backlund. He played under 3 minutes of the first period. The team's calling it an upper body injury. What does Calgary miss if their captain's not available to them in the upcoming stretch, Saddledome?
A lot, Jay. He is the ultimate security blanket for this team, right? He's the captain for a reason because of his leadership. But on the ice, if it's a top line, if it's a Connor McDavid or a Quinn Hughes or Elias Pettersson, well, Mikael Backlund's going to get that matchup. If it's a big penalty kill, if it's a team that's protecting a 1-goal lead, Mikael Backlund's getting that assignment. And beyond that, Jay, I think he brings a calming presence to this team that is still, frankly, young. It's got young players that need that reassurance. He's a model citizen off the ice, Jay, and on the ice. He's someone that they rely on in every situation. It would be a tough loss, but we hope that he'll be ready to go for Friday when they host the Avalanche here at the Saddledome.
Saddledome Volji, thanks for this.